What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to review the 2019 fixture. It was announced just yesterday, and now all Port fans can plan and prepare for a big 2019 season, whether or not you're travelling to interstate games, whether or not you're going to be at every home game next year. You can pinpoint the dates, know the exact time, so you can be there to support your team. So, let's go through this 2019 fixture and see what looks good and what looks bad ahead of a brilliant and exciting 2019 season. So we're going to go through round by round exactly who we play, what time and where, and have a look and see how this will stack up. Looking at the fixture just at a glance, it's very enticing and a very favourable draw, I think, more for our fans in particular. The team, obviously, that's a whole different perspective on how we'll perform next year, because that's just a big question mark. But I reckon, you know, at our best, we can do the job quite well with this fixture. So, let's go straight into it. So, as we know, already was announced, round one is against Melbourne at the MCG, Saturday afternoon. Round two, first home game of the year, is against Carlton. It's a twilight match, so not much to make of that one. It's just basically, yeah, first home game of the year. Then we head back up to the Gabba for round three against the Brisbane Lions, which we haven't played at the Gabba for a couple of years now, so it's good for our Queensland fans to get the game up there. Round four back at Adelaide Oval, we'll play the the premiers of 2017 Richmond, so that'll be a tough ask to Saturday twilight. Round five, Good Friday footy, is against West Coast Friday night over there at Optus Stadium, so Port Adelaide playing Good Friday footy. I haven't had a chance to touch on it with you guys since it was announced a couple of days before the fixture. So it's been, you know, I think the overwhelming response from our fans has been pretty good. I'm glad it's away, because I know a lot of people with religious ties, including myself, will more so be, you know, more negligent towards it and might not watch it, but that's completely understood. But, you know, overwhelming good response for that one. Yeah, I was surprised to play Good Friday footy. I didn't think we'd get that opportunity, but nonetheless, it's over in Perth, so it doesn't matter too much. Round six is Anzac Day, and that's against North Melbourne, who we've never played Friday night footy against. So we've never played North Melbourne on a Friday night. And that's at home for the Anzac Day game. That's in a run of the 10 days of rounds 5 and 6 that link together. One day between those 10 days, there is no footy. That's insane, and that's pretty awesome. Round 7, we play Collingwood at Marvel Stadium on a Friday night. We have never played, well, we have played Collingwood at Etihad, well, at Marvel Stadium, but not since 2005 was the last time we played Collingwood over there on a Friday night. Round 8 is the first showdown. No Friday night showdowns this year, both Saturday, but fortunately for Port fans, we've been given the Saturday night shift, so that's our home game as well. So that'll be brilliant to see everyone there on a Saturday night. Round 9, Gold Coast is at the Adelaide Oval on a Sunday, early game, 12:40. I hate that time slot, really hate it. But the fortunate thing is, if that round in particular goes ahead, then I think Melbourne Victory from the A-League, if they make the A-League Grand Final, then they get the rights to that game on the Saturday night at Marvel, so which means we'll be swapped into the Saturday night shift, which I'm more happy with that one. So let's hope Melbourne Victory make the A-League Grand Final for the sake of that. Round 10, travel to Tassie. That's against Hawthorn. Be good to see Chad Wingard again. Unfortunately, we're not getting a game against him this year, are we? At the Adelaide Oval, so that'd be good to see how we perform down there. Then we travel up overseas to Shanghai, where we'll take on St Kilda, which has been linked with a new 3-year deal. We'll play St Kilda for the next 3 years at the Adelaide Arena in Shanghai, so that'll be good to see, and that's on a Sunday. Then we have the bye, so our bye's a little later this year, which is fantastic for the boys, so we can not have that disadvantage of 2 extra weeks beforehand, and then play longer later in the year. We come back from the bye, we travel over to Optus Stadium, so the boys will be getting their frequent flyer points up, no doubt about that. That's against the Dockers over there on a Saturday afternoon. Then, the 2 blockbusters on a Saturday night. We play Geelong and the Western Bulldogs in round 14 and 15. This begins a run of 4 games in a row at home, which then is the showdown. That's an away showdown on a Saturday twilight. And then the Sunday, the week later, we play the Brisbane Lions on at home for a Sunday twilight. So that's a big month of footy, especially all at home. So no travelling after the month before that we do travel. But the good thing is we have the bye in between those travelling. So yeah, 4 games at home in a row is brilliant. Then we play the Tigers for the first time since 2016 at the G on a Saturday afternoon. The Giants at home, which is a Saturday night as well, which is fantastic to see. So plenty of Saturday night games this year, which is good for our fans who love that time slot. Then a week after that, Essendon at Marvel Stadium on a Saturday afternoon. Then back at the Adelaide Oval against the Swans for a Saturday afternoon game. Then we travel to Marvel Stadium again against North Melbourne, and to finish off the year in a time slot that's to be confirmed because it's a floating fixture in round 23. Fremantle at home. Pretty decent draw, I must say. It's a really positive one for our fans. It's a really enticing one with a lot of blockbuster games. 3 primetime games in a row, 2 away. 1 obviously at home with Anzac Day. Plenty of Saturday night games as well. Alright, so the positives of that fixture, you've got 4 Saturday nights at Adelaide Oval. That is the key thing that we requested this year. That and Anzac Day were the 2 major parts. Anzac Day is obviously the next one on the list against North Melbourne, who we've never played on a Friday night before, so that'll be good and interesting to see. The month at home that I mentioned against the Geelong Cats, North Melbourne, not Geelong, Western Bulldogs, Adelaide in the showdown, and then Brisbane. So a month at home, which is pretty damn good. And on that run home as well, we only travel 4 times out of 11 games, which will be a big bonus for us heading into the latter stages of the year. So if there's any fatigue or anything, there's less travel, will take less toll on the body, and it's going to really help our players finish off the season quite well before, hopefully, we head into finals with that week off. No Thursday nights. That is the key thing, this one. This is a positive because we had 1 Thursday night last year and the crowd was terrible, the weather was terrible, the time slot was terrible, and the team was terrible. Yeah, the Western Bulldogs game was basically a big failure, and I'm glad the AFL woke up to that and didn't give us any Thursday night games. There was talk of a Thursday night showdown, Friday night showdown. Those didn't happen. And I'm glad, if it was a Thursday night showdown, I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be our home. I'm thinking more the Adelaide can have that one because our fans love the night games, but Saturday night, even Friday nights, they're ours if we get them. Thursday nights, not for Port Adelaide. Some of the negatives, there's only a couple of negatives I could point out in particular. A lot of people love going to the MCG. I know we got a lot of Port Adelaide members from Victoria. We get 5 games in total going to Victoria, which is basically a quarter of our fixture, which is pretty handy, I must admit. 2 games in Perth, 5 games in Victoria, 1 in Tasmania, 1 in Shanghai, and 1 in Queensland. So none in New South Wales, which I thought was a little interesting. I thought we'd get the Sydney game again because we've been pretty good up there the last couple of years. Unfortunately not. The month away, which is, contradiction with the positive of being a month at home. But the good thing is we have a bye in between that, but there's a lot of travel time in there with, you were travelling from Adelaide to Tasmania, back to Adelaide, and then we're going back, we're going over to Shanghai, then we travel back from Shanghai for a week off in the bye, and then we travel over to Perth. They are some big travels. So it'll be interesting to see how our bodies react, but yeah, as it complements with the month at home, which will be really handy going into the later part of the year. The other thing too is Indigenous round. That's going to be in between those 4 games that we play away. And I really think, our club does it so well representing the Indigenous culture and really celebrating that aspect of our game. We're not going to have a home game anywhere near that round, I don't think, unless we do it against Geelong. So that's round 14. I'm sure there'll be a couple rounds afterwards. So it'll be interesting to see how we celebrate that. I know the club will manage somehow to do that, and they do it really well. So our double-ups for the fixture, we play Richmond twice, the Adelaide Crows twice, Brisbane Lions, Fremantle Dockers, and North Melbourne twice. Pretty happy with that double-up. Richmond twice, 1 away and home. The Crows is obviously a given. The Lions, we haven't doubled up in a while, so it'll be good to see them come back. We go up there as well. Fremantle, obviously we seem to play twice every year lately. It's a given. North Melbourne, we played twice, 1 at Marvel and 1 at the Adelaide Oval. So those were both pretty pretty handy double ups, I'd say. So depending on who's in current form, I reckon we could almost knock them all off. Very favourable draw for the time slots for our fans. I think this is going to be a sensational 2019 in terms of off-field. Get back on board, Port fans. It's going to be sensational. And with the games we've got plenty of games to look forward to next year. Anzac Round against North, as I keep mentioning, it's a great celebration for Anzac Round and for us to have a given game at Adelaide Oval. One we request every year to celebrate all the Anzacs and what they do. It's a real positive for us, and I think that's my favourite game of the year. And it'll be good to see North Melbourne for the first time as well. Showdown on a Saturday night. It's always very tough. It's always exciting, and it's one of the best rivalries in the league. And for us to have a home game on a Saturday night is it's going to be really exciting. Collingwood on a Friday night, which has not been done since 2010, I think it was round 15, where Choco basically got the sack, and that was his last game. And that was on a Friday night at Amy Stadium. We haven't played a Friday night against Collingwood in Melbourne since 2005, which was Stewie Dew's 150th game. So it'd be great to see us travel back over to Melbourne with 3 Friday night games as well. One, obviously, Good Friday too. So I like that. I really enjoyed the three in a row too, 3 prime time. So if you're not a Port Adelaide fan, enjoy us. Richmond at the G. That's a very exciting game. Played there since 2016, as I mentioned. We haven't lost to Richmond at the MCG since 1998. So let's hope that continues. And it'll be really good to see us back over at the G for our second game. 2 good games at the MCG too, one against Melbourne. Which leads me into the next one. The most exciting game of footy we're going to see is round 1. You know why? Because it's the start of 2019 and I cannot wait. I can't wait, to be honest. It's been, 6 to 8 weeks since footy is finished? I'm already dying. Honestly, I can't handle it. I need footy back. So round 1 cannot come quick enough. JLT, stuff it. Get rid of it. Round 1, bring it on. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans. That ends this fixture analysis for 2019. It's going to be a big bloody year, let me tell you. I'm looking forward to hopefully travelling to a few different states, which I haven't been, to see games, if everything works into place. Round 1 is almost a given. I will be going there to the MCG. Every home game's a given. So let me know in the comments below what games you are looking forward to the most, and what are you excited about for 2019, and do you like our fixture for next year? Comment below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content coming your way on a weekly basis. I'll take you through the pre-season. Draft is coming up as well, and just a big preview into 2019 to see how this playing group is going to perform with this great fixture that we've got for next year. Once again, thank you very much for watching, Port fans. My name is Anthony, and as always, can the pair.